What's up guys, jtmoffroad here. Today I need to start working on this 8.8. It's April 21st, so I've been uploading weekly, but kind of like storing videos in the bank, just so, you know, my schedule gets pretty busy doing other things. Obviously YouTube isn't my full-time job. These videos are a little behind. I may upload more here and there just to do maybe some of the smaller videos, but it's about time I get more into working on the Jeep. I really got to get the 8.8 in this year. It's time to start wheeling again, so I'd really like to try to get this in so I could use this year. So the goal of today's video is, first off, this has caught a lot of paint overspray over projects that I've had over the winter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this degreased, cleaned off, and then we can see better what's going on. I'm gonna have to take a lot of the rust off, and when I'm using the wire wheel and stuff, that's gonna be a lot of extra dust that I don't want. So I just wanna get the whole thing sprayed off, get it clean, and then kind of better assess what I need to do. The other thing I need to do is open up this and see how good it looks inside. Whenever I first got this, I dumped all the oil out and then just left it sit, so hopefully it never got too rusted in there. There was some surface rust at one point, so hopefully it didn't get too bad. I picked up some Vapo rust, so we're gonna try this out. I've used apple cider vinegar in the past to take rust off the things, but whenever I used it, you still have to scrub. This apparently just takes it completely off, so I don't know, we'll see. It seems like a lot of people like it, so I figured we'd give it a shot. It's a little expensive. It's more, you know, it was 26 bucks for this, and, you know, a thing of apple cider vinegar, you know, cost maybe, I don't know, a couple bucks, less than $5. So we'll give this a shot. But I really need to take off the old brackets. The guy that had this before, so I bought this, if you look back on my video of when I actually bought this, I explained that the guy that had this before me bought it for his project, got it off another guy that added this stuff, but never did anything with it. I got it so cheap because the inside of it, whenever I opened it up, or whenever the guy before me opened it up, we looked in it and saw that the guy welded it. It looks like it'll probably hold, but the welds are just super sketchy. Like, these are just super booger welded on. I think I probably could have done a better job. But he welded the inside and the outside, which is good. You know, he cut this bracket and welded the shock mount on. And then I don't know what happened on this side. If he tried welding a shock mount on, maybe he did and it broke off. I don't know the full story behind this, but if that was welded on and it broke off, I don't know how well I trust these welds. So between this and the carrier inside, when he welded those spider gears, I don't know exactly what to trust here. So I was thinking about just leaving these perches on already and then just, you know, going from there, just getting the shock mounts. But I'm still not sold yet what I want to do. I'm kind of curious just to see if I put this axle under the Jeep and just kind of see how it sits, you know, see how it goes and just run with it that way, or I don't know. You know, this is a real low buck budget build for this 8.8, so I don't want to drop too much money in it. So I need to clean this off, cut the brackets off, get all the rust off the whole axle, clean the inside. So I don't know if I'm just going to dump a whole bunch of Vapo rust in there and let it sit, or if I want to actually take the carrier out and put it in a bucket and let it sit in there. So I haven't decided. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to take the rotors and the brakes off, see how the axles spin with that stuff off. When I first got it, I would spin the axles and it would seem like a certain point it would catch. So either, I'm guessing that's probably the pad or these dust covers grinding at certain spots. If it still has some resistance in some spots, then something's off and we may just end up dropping the whole build. I don't think any of the tubes are twisted, but that's the one thing I want to look for And then if all goes well, then we'll keep going with the build. So this is going to be the first video of this, and hopefully not the last. I really would like to get this in there, especially since I got it for such a good buy. So I've already talked too much. Let's get started. Axle's all cleaned off, degreased. I want to open up that cover and see how rusty it is inside. I tried turning the pinion back there. It was a little rough. I'm hoping that's just the pads and nothing else. So actually maybe before I do that, I'll take the calipers off and then I'll open it just to make sure everything turns still good. So I got the brakes off, rotors off, and it spins freely, which is good. Don't feel a whole lot of play. You know, there's a little bit. But one thing is pinion. I don't need everyone's professional opinions on my pinion, but it does seem like there is a little up and down play here. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. It's about as far as I can get in with the camera. But if I move this back and forth, it's almost like this nut isn't tightened the whole way down. So I'm thinking it's that, because you can see movement the whole way around that nut. I feel like it's just that, because if it was the pinion, then this would move also, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But since this flange is moving back and forth, I think this just isn't tightened down the whole way. I'm sure the more we get into it, we'll find out, but I think the pinion's good. Keyword think. I have a feeling I'll have to do some seals. It looked like this side there might have been a seal leak where the axle is. But I don't really feel a whole lot of play in everything. So I think we might be okay. We're going to break the diff cover open, see how things are looking inside. Alrighty guys, this is where I'm going to need your help. There's obviously some pitting on the teeth of the ring gear. Some of these are fine, but you know, there is a good bit. So I'm planning on putting this whole thing in some Vapo Rust. There's a little chatter between this and the pinion. Tell me if that's okay. But I don't know, you guys tell me. I want to just run it, see what happens. If I have to get gears later on, then I can. I mean, is this really gonna cause problems or what? I don't know. The pinion back there seems fine. I don't really see any rust on it. So I think we're okay there. It's just the rust on the ring gear that I'm curious about. So I don't know if that's something I should kind of just use a Scotch-Brite pad or something on. Try to take a little of it off, but I don't know. That is pretty pitted. I knew it had a little bit of pitting from when I first picked it up, but I don't know if no oil in this for a few months, you know, made this any worse. Which, I mean, it probably didn't do any good. But the welded diff in there, you can see he didn't really properly degrease it. Either that or you just use some flux core, but there's a lot of spatter in there. So from what I've heard, if you properly don't get all the grease out, then you'll have a lot of spatter like that. All the welds in there seem pretty okay. He welded to the carrier, so if I did want to do a spool, I would have to buy a whole new carrier. So I think the plan is going to be, I'll probably run this unless I get too many comments saying don't run it, just change the gears. For the rest of it, I'll put the cover back on. I'll wait to do any vapor rust with this yet. Maybe I'll make that a separate video altogether. Regardless, I think I can still use the whole housing. So I think what I'll start working on is cutting off all the brackets. Still on the fence if I want to leave these on or not. Seems like the perches are pretty fine. Like if I would put those on my leaf springs, it might be alright. I don't know. Looks like there's some extra weld that's a little too far down, but I don't know if that would really affect the leaf springs level or not. So I think at least for now, I'm going to take all the other brackets off and I'll at least be that far ahead. So I think we'll at least have a good start on this. Let's go ahead and cut those brackets off. Got the brackets cut off. I left the perches on for now. Still got to wire wheel the rest of this, but I'm just gonna wait for now. I want to get kind of the bulk of the important stuff done. But I started taking the backing plates off just because I didn't want to have those on while I was working on everything. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put the backing plates back on anyway. I remember thinking on some of these axles, you had to take the axle shafts out to get the backing plates off. I was thinking, these bolts just come right out. So, you know, I got them all out for the most part. I have one on that side I still got to get. Come over to this one, I got this one off. And oh yeah, you still have to take the axle shaft out because the hole's not big enough to fit over the flange. So go me. I could have taken a whole lot less time taking these all out if I would have just taken this out, and I could have just zipped them all off. But instead, I'd use a ratcheting wrench. It took forever. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover off, pull the carrier out, and let the whole thing sit in some vapor rust. Evapor rust. I think I'm just going to run with that for now, unless somebody else comes through and says, oh, that's a terrible idea, don't do that. But I don't really feel like re-gearing this just for 410s. I don't have the money to do the front, so I think I'll just run with this. I don't really drive it all that much. It's mainly just for riding on trails and driving around here and there. I trailer, so you know, why not? So we're just gonna try it, I think. So I'm gonna pull the carrier out, get a lot of the rust off, kind of clean everything up, and I think we're just gonna kind of roll from there. Well, I can't believe I didn't think of this until now. If you were going to replace an axle shaft and your carrier pin or cross shaft looks like that, how are you going to make that happen? There's so much spatter all over that. That's going to be such a pain to try to get that cross shaft out. I got to figure something out because I got to drop that cross shaft so I can push the axle shafts through so I can get the C-clips out and pull the shafts back and then get the carrier out. So thanks, guy. You did an awesome job. we got a lot done today. Maybe not a whole lot, but we got a good bit done. Got the carrier out, got the brackets taken off, got the flanges off the ends taken off, got the carrier sitting here, got all of my parts laid out. Everything was taken off and placed here as it came out. I know everyone watching getting that cross shaft out is probably cringing, but that was just, well, there that goes. But that was just, you can see all the spatter that came off through that whole thing. It was just terrible. Hammer and rod, get that out. Had to pry it out, but it's out. Probably gonna have to get a new cross shaft. The bearings on this actually look pretty good this side. There's really no pitting on this one. The other side, there's very little amount. So I'm pretty glad those looking in good shape. Be sure to keep an eye out for more videos coming up on this. This is gonna be the end of this one, but I will make a video using the vapor rust and seeing how that works. I've never used it before, but I've heard it works pretty well. I'll probably wait to get that done until I get the pinion seal replaced, because that was leaking a little bit when I first got it, and have to do the one axle shaft seal. So once I get those done, then I'll take care of the vapor rust on this and then see where I want to go from there. Still haven't decided if I want to use those perches that are on there already or what exactly I want to do, but I still have to get shock mounts and maybe the perch mounts if I need them. And then I definitely have to figure out how I want to do the brakes. Probably just gonna have to do new brakes altogether. So I'm pretty excited. I'm really glad to get back into this stuff. And I had a bunch of videos on the truck, replacing things here and there, getting some new things, getting some new tools. That's all good and everything, but I'm really glad to get back to this kind of stuff, making old new again. Maybe not exactly new, but good enough to run. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me how you think I should go about this build. If I should just run that ring gear as is, just let it go, and then worry about a re-gear later on. I think that's probably the route I want to go. But let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, give me feedback. All the feedback I can get is appreciated. I think that's it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to like it, tell me what you think in the comments. Click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming projects and wheeling trips. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook to catch posts of videos in the making. See you next time.